Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, Vigo's dad here. Welcome to another episode. Today, I find myself in the city that I've spent the most amount of time here in Poland. We are in the very particular city of Łódź. This place has around 670,000 inhabitants. It's kind of like right in the center of Poland. But to be honest with you, this episode is not about the history of Łódź. We'll do that some other time. Today we're going to talk about how peculiar the city is. And as you can see, and as you will see on this episode, I don't know if it's depressing or if it's just booming with artistic vibe. And it's actually a place on the rise. I find myself now in Piotrkowska Street. It's the most recognizable landmark of the city. It's a long commercial street that has around 5 kilometers long. It runs from north to south. And to be honest, I remember coming here for the first times. And it was actually incredible because it has so many interesting buildings and they all look quite unique. You can find villas, you can find palaces, you can find churches. This street is so particular and so unique that has actually been inscribed into the monuments list. So imagine that, a whole street that is a monument. So I do remember the first times visiting this city, and to be honest, I did not know what to think. I was a little bit conflicted because the first place I visited when I came to Poland was actually Warsaw. And I love Warsaw immediately. But when I came to Łódź, it looked like something had happened here. Like, you know, war passed, something. At the same time, me being, a musician, an artist, I immediately felt that there was something unique and cool about it. And the more I visit, the more I come, the more I am enchanted by this city. We actually got married in Poland, and I remember coming here to this street to run a lot of errands that had to do with our wedding. And finding places off of Piotrkowska like this, that you would just look to your right or to your left, and there was like this whole tunnel that led to another world, such as the place that I just entered right now. As you can see, it's kind of like an indoor patio, and sometimes you find a whole other world of businesses that are inside of this, passages. I don't even know what to call them. The interesting thing about this city is that although it looks a little bit old, let's face it, and a little bit run down, like it's seen better days, the people here look very fashionable. And I think it's because this is a very artistic city. It has the biggest filming school in whole Poland. It's called Filmówka. So a lot of movies are shot here. As you can see, there's kind of like Walk of Stars here too. Kind of like reminiscent of the one in Los Angeles. Look at this. Let me show you guys. This is incredible. Like I don't know if you can only find places like this in Łódź, but for sure it's something very unique to it. And you can see why Łódź has been used so often in films in Poland because of its very characteristic vibe. The world has become so globalized that we can get on a plane and fly to basically any city that we want to, Kuala Lumpur, Toronto, Canada, New York, London. But you also have the option to come to a place like this. Look at that facade. Look at those buildings. Yeah, they might need a little bit of care and treatment, but they are unique looking. They have their own vibe. At the beginning, I was all up for the renovated cities, the cities that have, cool infrastructure and things that look modern. But I don't know, maybe I am getting older, maybe I am becoming more Polish, more European, but I can now completely appreciate that architecture. And in that regard, Łódź is pretty unmatched. In the last few years, there's a project that intends to turn the somewhat gloomy streets of Łódź into kind of like an open art museum with the creation of these incredibly large, bright-sized murals. There are like more than 40 all over Łódź. As you can see, there's one right here. I believe this one's quite famous. We have another one right there. And they have, of course, hired some of Poland's best street artists. And I find it incredibly cool because think about it. Like, you have a city with a lot of buildings. A lot of these buildings are old. And why not brighten the city up and give them another life by creating these incredible art pieces? Also, you give people and struggling artists some work. To me, it's a very big, thumbs up for the city of Łódź. So, what is my particular opinion of Łódź? Do I like it? Do I find it artistic? Well, I'm somewhere in the middle. I find it very artistic, even more so now. But I also sometimes find it a little depressing, just because there are so many buildings that lack care, that lack, money, so that we can bring them to life. For example, look at this right there. You can see this building. Now, compare it to this one right here in front of me. The difference is night and day, right? This building has been renovated, it's painted, and it looks fantastic. So if they manage to do this to, let's say, 60-70% of the city, it will be an incredible place to be. But I've also heard that Łódź is getting older. A lot of the younger generation are moving out of this city, supposedly because lack of job, and also because the history of Łódź is that of a textile city, sometimes referred to or used to be referred to as the Polish Manchester. But to talk a little bit more about that, we should make a quick stop and go to Manufaktura. Here we are in a very important place for the modern history of Łódź. This is Manufaktura. Manufaktura used to be an old cotton factory dating back to the 19th century. It was owned by a very wealthy man. His name was Israel Poznański, and his house was here, just next to the collection of factories. That's the palace. That's the Israel Israel Poznańskiego, or something like that. This poor fellow just fell from his scooter. Be careful, kids. Israel Poznański was a visionary because he realized something very important. First of all, the need that the Eastern markets had for textiles, and also he knew that Łódź at the time was the westernly-most city in the Russian Empire, so he could learn from the finesse of the West when it came to the textile industry, and therefore use this as a hub to sell to the Eastern markets. And boy, was he successful. Manufaktura used to employ thousands and thousands of employees. I think there were even apartments built so that the employees could live nearby. By the way, here we can see a little bit of his palace. That's his garden. This is a truly remarkable place. I've said it before, this is my favorite place in Łódź and one of my favorite places in Poland, because of the way they have managed to rebuild this and turn it into this hub for everyone. I've always loved Manufaktura. I think this place has such a great vibe. The red bricks, the way things are old, super old, but also feel renovated and new. They do things like this. They put an ice skating rink. They have Christmas markets. And during the winter, in the summer, they have concerts and they have sand everywhere. And I don't know, you have all the stores you might want. But most importantly, people have embraced this place. I don't know if as the soul of Łódź, but it seems like they have embraced it as the heart of Łódź. You tell me. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. Like I said, this is not an episode about the history of Łódź. I might do something like that in the future, but I just wanted to cover a little bit some things about this city that is so intriguing. Like I said before, I've been visiting the city for 10 years, and every time I come, there's something different, something that catches my eye. And I think that if you haven't visited, I really think you should. You will be surprised. It's a city with a lot of character. If you are from here, let us all know in the comments why we should come and why you love your city. See you later. Bye-bye.